So in May I made a video explaining the rise of 5 BFB characters, plus a few mentions that were once disliked by a big part of the community, and how they managed to take over it. These cases are pretty cool, and they show a very optimistic view about the show, and how nothing ever stays the same. But this applies both ways. Just like there are characters that come from hated to loved, there are also characters that come from loved to hated. I saw a few people suggested me this idea in the comments at the previous video, but I was already planning this from the start. So let's take a look at these 5 characters that didn't have luck on their side. Here are 5 loved BFB characters that are now hated. Before we get to this, I wanted to tell you that these cases are not as common, so the picks aren't as forceful, but I think they're still decent picks, so I hope you enjoy the video regardless.
Number 5.
For what Rocky was, he had a surprisingly good run in the first season. He was ranked 6th, getting eliminated by a very small amount of votes, and also was the 2nd highest ranking contestant with no arms. Many people say he had a lot of luck, but what really proves that people did truly have a soft spot for Rocky back is the fact that he had the most votes to join the 2nd season, in which he would almost get the prize off from fan favorite Puffball in one instance, which is also a case for later on, to be honest. But Rocky is a one-trick pony, even though many still like him. For one reason or another, Rocky stopped being that liked. I still love the character, and it's pretty sad to see his downfall, especially because he's been the same since season 1. He basically was saved from elimination thanks to the split. He was clearly going to be the next contestant out on Beep. And after thinking about it, maybe that's the reason? I mean, characters should change. The characters on these videos changed for the worst and for the best, but that is what keeps a character interesting anyways. Aw, screw these messages. Rocky is gonna be saved anyways. Next.
Number 4.
Cake was introduced in season 4. In the early stage of the season he actually looked pretty innocent, which got a lot of viewers to like him a ton.
I love Cake!
Not many know that Cake was actually doomed from the start. This character is strongly connected to another one, this one being Loser. Out of all the Loser support in the series itself, Cake probably holds the most connections to him. At the start this didn't seem to be a big problem for him as people liked him regardless, and it didn't look as extreme as Braceletty's following, for example. In fact, people kinda liked it. At BFB 7, Cake was 3rd safe, showing again how much she was supported by the community. But as soon as Loser's elimination was announced, the downfall of Cake would begin.
He's gone for a reason!
With Loser out, Cake would lose the good part of his character. People stopped seeing it as cute and started to see it as irritating. Especially because he linked himself with such a controversial character. The climax of the downfall would happen at BFB 13, when Cake got in a conflict with Eggy.
We're merely followers, obeyers, failures, but we're not that. We're losers.
Yeah, well, my spiritual connection with Loser is stronger, and he's telling me to jump right in!
You think you're so good, Cake?
My spiritual—
Whoa, why are you guys yelling so much?
To this day, Cake didn't quite recover from the incident, and is usually not seen in such a good light anymore, but he should really attempt to redeem himself. He is not eliminated yet anyways.
Number 3.
Foldy has fell so hard no one even remembers liking her on the first place. She had a strong start in the first few episodes, but one big mistake she made is being Stapy's best friend. Stapy is a very controversial character. He started out okay, but he did a pair of stupid stuff that got him out of the game.
Sorry, my stapler instincts just took over.
Summer!
Correct! Here's the footage.
Oh, gee, I guess you're right. Then free food is up for elimination.
In that episode, Foldy had received the least votes out of anyone on the team, but her fate would soon change as she would attempt to get revenge on Iance in BFB 11.
It's not enough for me to just win. To avenge Stapy, I need to make sure that Iance loses.
Foldy would fight Flower. The worst part is that Foldy succeeded, and basically everyone that liked Iance turned on her. She was clearly going to be the next contestant out at this point. But she was promptly saved by the split. However, I don't think she can stay for much longer. The change was so drastic, some people even question why did they start to dislike Foldy in the first place, and that maybe it's an exaggeration, but that doesn't change the fact that not much people like Foldy anymore.
Number 2.
I already mentioned who this character is in this video, in which he would almost get the prize off from fan favorite Puffball in one instance, which is also a case for later on, to be honest. The rise and fall of Puffball is not a story that many will tell. It's hard to quite remember how much Puffball was loved in Season 2. Mainly her personality, nice person, but with slight understandable flaws, and of course, her voice. The Puffball craze was so big, she won the team prize every single time her team was up for elimination. But this would be the demise of Puffball.
Puffball, what's your secret? Every time your team has been up for voting, you've won the prize! Wow.
When her team was within the reach of winning by a long shot, she threw the game with the objective of winning the prize once again.
What are you doing? If our team loses, we'll be up for voting. And I'll win the prize like I always do. I really love prizes.
Is one story of greed that, after 3 years, was finally confirmed by Jack Jellify to have a bad ending. Puffball wouldn't quite recover after this. She is not essentially hated anymore, but I feel like I had to put her in this video since she fell from such a high status. Her recent participations are mixed. From helping Stapy cheat and getting second place at the elimination, to fighting with Spongy, not getting enough screen time. It's possible that we might never see Puffball the way she was in Season 2.
Before we get to number 1, my name is
GD Nacho. Well, Spongy is actually in first.
Oh, but that means I vote.
Bouncy!
Oh, wow, Bessie!
With me!
Yeah.
28 votes. Stapy is eliminated. She must not be very well read.
Ruby, one of you will be eliminated.
Let's show the votes.
What? No drum roll? Why not?
Wait a minute, a lot of people have told me to include Fiery, Leafy, or Bubble in this video, but these 3 keep getting the most votes.
Leafy got the most votes from fans at 11,000 out of the total 51,000.
Anyway, first contestant safe is Fiery.
Oh.
Bubble is safe.
To be saved, it's very interesting. I wonder why so many people told me to include them, yet they are so loved at the same time. Anyways, that's it for dishonorable mentions. Now, for my tied number 1 pick. These 2 characters were once the most iconic characters. They both, alongside with Bubble, formed the longest, most legendary alliance that could have ever been formed. Pencil was always a bit more like than Match, but they formed a very good trio anyways. This is more about Pencil rather than Match, but it would have been repetitive if I put these 2 in different places. Pencil didn't receive a single vote for a very long time. Pencil, as you may know, you're the only person who still hasn't ever gotten a vote.
Yeah!
It only took the announcer to mention this fact for her to finally receive a vote. In fact, I would say this fact made her get eliminated in an already very unfair elimination. On Season 2, the Alliance peaked even after Match's elimination. Episode 5 was the peak of the Alliance in my opinion. Free Smart was such a dynamic team, it was super fun to watch them. Even though 2 of the teammates weren't even in the game. But that's when Pencil and Match went down, immediately. It only took a single episode to throw down the reputation of this duo. A single episode is what it took for Pencil to place last in BFB. And Match to place right behind her as soon as they were up for elimination. This is probably the saddest fall yet. And remember, links are important, so Ruby also joined them soon enough, and Bubble would never be seen in such a good light ever again. Is all hope lost for these 2? So that was the video. Subscribe if you enjoyed, like, whatever, you know the deal. Thank you so much for watching. I see you guys soon.